go.
All right, guys, so we are doing a cooking video, this time with eggplant. We're gonna be making a stir fry eggplant with ground beef and a sauce made of soy sauce, oyster sauce, sesame seed oil, chili, garlic, ginger. It's very good. But right now, this is my garden and I'm harvesting eggplant. And this bed, this is about a 5 by 10 foot bed. And on this garden bed is on this garden bed is actually 2 rows of eggplant. So these are 2 rows, and between each plant, just to give you guys an idea as to how much food you guys can grow in just 5 by 10, 5 by 10 space. There's about a foot and a half to 2 feet between each plant, and then between each row is just 2.5 feet or so. So you can actually grow a lot of food. And this is actually just what I have so far here. I don't know. Let me show you. Let me see if you guys can see that. Make sure. And I actually still have more to pick. Just looking at this basket of eggplant, there's one plant that I have that only produces this type of eggplant. It literally only produces these little tennis ball sized eggplants. That's all it produces. It's just genetics. And in the grocery store, you know, they have a certain criteria, a certain standard of eggplant that they have to sell because it's good for sales and all that. But when you start growing your own and you start collecting your own seed, you'll notice genetic diversity. This is actually a fully developed eggplant. So is this one. And you can find a lot of ones that are shaped like this. This is actually, the plants that I have here, these are actually a mix. These are actually hybrids between an oriental eggplant that I grew years ago and an Italian variety that I also grew. And I didn't, do it myself. I didn't genetically engineer this myself. I just put these different types of eggplants together in the garden and allowed cross-pollination to happen naturally. And you get different shaped eggplants. I'll give you guys another example here. This is from another eggplant that I have here. You can see. This is a hybrid between an oriental eggplant, or what they call in America a long and purple, and an Italian variety, the name of which I do not remember. There's some more here that I want to get. So here's another eggplant that's developed. And you can see the purple it's a lighter color. And when it turns light purple like that, you really need to harvest it, because if you don't, the eggplant will turn yellow. And once it turns yellow, it is unedible. If you try to eat a yellow eggplant, it will literally give you a tingling feeling in your tongue. It's an itching, burning sensation that'll be on your tongue and probably in your throat as well. That's an allergic reaction to the poison in the overly ripe eggplant. You do not want to pick eggplant when they are ripe or overly ripe. You want to pick them underripe. Underripe eggplants are the ones that you want to pick. You don't want to pick anything else. Here's another one. Actually, 2 of them. And the thing about eggplant is once they get going, they don't stop. They will keep producing. And you'll come out, let's say if you have 2 rows of eggplant, you're going to be coming out every day or at most every other day to harvest eggplant. With okra, you'll be coming out every day, literally every day to harvest okra. Let's see what else we got here. Here's another one that's ready to go. Oh, here's 2 of them actually. And this is just a day's harvest. Making sure the dogs are not getting too crazy. This is just a day's harvest, guys. That's like 2 dinners. 1 dinner if you're really hungry. I also saved my own seed. And let's see what we can get out of that. Nothing too crazy. These are Anaheim chilies from seed that I saved also last year. but I'll go dig around. But we're gonna make this recipe, and you guys are gonna love it. So, all right, guys. So I sliced some of the eggplant up. I didn't even slice all of it. Slice some of it. And this is an Asian steamer that I got at an Asian supermarket a couple of weeks ago. And I've been using this, and this is awesome. It comes in 2 layers. So you open it up, right? Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm a newbie on this. So yeah, you open it up. Here's the top of it. Top of it. Put 1 layer of eggplant here, 1 layer of eggplant there. Stack it. And then I'm gonna put it on top of this. I got this wok with boiling water. I'm gonna put it right on top. And it's gonna steam, and the steam is gonna go up the tower. And it's gonna steam the eggplant. I'm gonna leave it in this tower steaming for about 15 minutes. So here we have soy sauce, bean paste, which you can get at the Asian section at your grocery store, oyster sauce, a little bit of sugar. Also, a little bit of water. So a little bit of water, about 1.5 tablespoons soy sauce, maybe more. I'll test it out to see if it's to my palate. About 1 tablespoon of bean paste, a little bit more, about 1.5 tablespoons. And let's do oyster sauce, about let's see here, 2.5 tablespoons. And a little bit of sugar. And a mix. Just give it a good mix. And hold on. Just give it a little test. It's good. Probably maybe a little oyster sauce, more oyster sauce, and then let's see, probably a little bit more sugar. Let's give them a test. That's good. We'll go with that. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes and this eggplant is done. It's probably been about less than 15 minutes, probably 14 minutes, but this eggplant is done. Nice and soft. And the reason why we steam it as opposed to frying it, because last year I did a video of me frying eggplant. And this time I'm steaming it. And I find this method much more efficient because I don't have to fry the eggplant now. The eggplant is completely cooked. Now all I gotta do is simply saute the ground beef, make the sauce, and at that point it's all just a matter of mixing. So less work. The steamer does most of the work for you because when you're frying eggplant, that's where most of the time is going, to fry the eggplant. Now, 15 minutes, steamer does all the work. Now all I gotta do is saute the ground beef, do the sauce, and mix it all together. All right, so now we're gonna do the ground beef. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil in this wok because the ground beef has a lot of oil in it, a lot of fat unto itself. This wok is super, super hot. It's been sitting on a high flame for about 5 minutes. So it's super hot right now. And then, but this wok is so big. This wok is so big, it gets hot so fast that it cooks the ground beef very quickly. So you can see, just looking at this, it's getting cooked pretty fast. And to make this beef really minced, what I do is I just flatten it. You just flatten it. You just keep flattening it and keep chopping at it with the spatula. And as this ground beef cooks, it'll start becoming like little crispy bits. That's exactly what you want. You want little crispy bits. So we'll come back when this ground beef is just about ready. So the ground beef is almost ready, and it's been like a minute and a half. That's how fast this wok is. Now, to give this beef a good depth of flavor, I'm going to add something here. I'm going to add a little bit of Asian cooking wine. Hold on, let me do it like a Chinese chef would do it. A little bit on the spatula. And I want that ground beef to be as small as possible. I don't want any big chunks or anything like that. So I'm just crushing it. Also, to give this an even, to give this more of a depth of flavor even more, in addition to the alcohol, sesame seed oil, ground beef, it does an amazing job with sesame seed oil. And the smell is also really good. The aroma of the sesame seed oil is really good. There's enough oil from the meat left to just cook everything else, so garlic and ginger, done, right there. And right when I smell it, right when I smell the garlic and the ginger, that's when I'm gonna add my other ingredients. So I'm smelling it, red chili and green chili. Add the beef back in. Traditionally in Asia, they would use minced pork to do this recipe, but we're going kosher this time, so we got minced beef instead. So I'm just going to mix all that up. Next is the eggplant. One layer of eggplant. Eggplant in there. Second layer. Mix. See how easy this is? I don't have to fry the eggplant. Nothing. You just steam and go. This is a monster wok. It's nothing to be messed with. Next, you got a sauce. And also, the other benefit to steaming the eggplant as opposed to frying it is that steaming it allows the eggplant to maintain its shape. When you deep fry eggplant, a lot of times it breaks down a little too much. When you do like a really deep wok fry, the eggplant will start breaking down. When you steam it, the eggplant keeps its shape. As you can see, there's really nothing breaking down. So I'm going to turn off the heat because this is done. And now that the heat is turned off, I'm going to add some very, very good flavor. Fresh basil from the garden. Do not slice the leaves. When you're dealing with basil, you want to have a whole leaf because the flavor is just so much better when you use whole leaves. When you chop basil too much, what happens is that you kind of bruise the basil, and a lot of that water goes into the recipe and it just ruins, it doesn't ruin it, but it's just not as good. So when you, and I'm just gonna mix that until the basil wilts. The heat is off, so I'm just using residual heat at this point. That's it. Beautiful. Okay, that's done. Now, next thing, I'm gonna put, hold on. I'm just gonna put some green onion. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Next, okay, I'm gonna put some green onion. Beautiful green onion. This is also from my backyard. In the dish. You don't want to cook anything. You want the residual heat to do the work when it comes to the green onion and the basil. The basil is just going to add an amazing depth of flavor. The green onion is going to add a depth of flavor. The cooking is all about making different layers of flavor. All right, last thing. This is the last thing. Sesame seed oil, just kind of as a condiment, kind of like putting olive oil in a pasta dish when you're done. Anyway, I don't want to mix it too much. Okay. All right, so this is the final product. Now we're going to serve it. So I'm going to serve it in a bowl of steamed rice. I'm just going to serve that eggplant. Just to get that basil leaf in there. You want that basil leaf. A basil leaf is beautiful. Maybe a little bit more. Right there. And like an Italian dish with pasta, maybe a little bit of sesame seed oil. And now I'm going to test it. So now we're going to test it. We're going to do the testing with a chopstick, make it proper. Don't use forks. This is the eggplant. Beautiful. Almost sweet. Delicious. Little hot sauce will go great on this with a cold beer. It's perfect. Anyway, have a good day. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.